say there's no fat shaming in our house. And
Hesha has an obese cat.
It's a good litmus test of inclusivity.
We're like, we don't fat shame, but I mean, she's
shame.
fat.
But like, she's fat. But we don't
cat
fat
has
shame.
like painted nails.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is a cool place. Yeah, I can dig it. I feel safe here.
Well, this is Jessie.
This is Kiki.
And this is Two Girls, One Haircut.
Oh my God, we're doing it.
Technically 3 haircuts, because I have almost the same haircut. It's not that far.
It's got the light hair.
I
It's got the
know.
short. I mean, we're in it.
I can do a part.
Are you weirded out right now listening, people? Because we have a guest. Our friend Josh
is here, and he's going to help talk about aliens.
He
with
is
us,
our armchair expert at everything alien.
which I am obsessed with, and I'm so here for this episode. We have our first.
Am I your first?
Yes.
Man.
We're so green and new and like we're like so fresh.
But we're also we were so excited to have you on because we're like, this is going to be such a great episode.
We figured
I'm going to ride on the good vibes.
you
from this for
should.
weeks, bro.
Oh my God, that makes me
yay.
happy. Okay, yeah, I mean,
So if you listen to us recently, we always like do questions in the beginning, and we're just like having fun with it.
But
and
also
letting
try to
people
get to know us.
And
Sure.
one of the questions was, do you think aliens are real? And we went down this whole rabbit hole.
Binky was like, Binky was like, oh, well, I know someone who can talk about this forever. And we were like, what? We need to do this. We need to make it happen.
He's such a sport, and I'm glad he actually does have some interest in my ramblings.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a sport, because sometimes I'll come in here really just hot, and I'll just like start laying it out, and he's always so cool. And
You've like
genteel.
converted him.
He's a convert.
He's a convert. Yeah. And
Mazel
so
tov.
So so what everybody needs to know is this episode's called Two Girls, One UFO. And we're talking about aliens. Like that's what we're talking about. We're getting into all the aliens.
And so we had our questions be alien themed for today.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we usually do like some like this or that kind of stuff.
this or that.
And so the first one is, would you rather be probed or have your memory wiped? Oh, wait. Before.
No, wait.
Hold on.
Oh,
No, that's mine.
Yep. Hold on.
my!
Nobody.
God.
We don't visually record
Now you
this
know
yet.
you have to get a picture.
We're gonna. It's just for people watching. We made ourselves tinfoil hats that don't fit over our
They don't fit over the
earphones,
headphones.
but I'm into it, right? Like, I feel like I needed to like legit respect the
They're more like a
conversation.
fez,
I know.
A fez, or like an Orthodox Greek priest headpiece of some sort.
Oh my God!
Look. It's like, did it shrink since the last time I put it on? There we go.
Oh, probably.
It's like Better Call Saul. I don't know. This is just reminding me of the brother that has
I've
the
never
sensitivity.
seen it.
You've never seen it? Okay.
Oh my God! So we're into it. Just so you know, we're ready. We're
I
like,
love that.
We're
Okay.
down.
Okay.
You really do. You guys have hats ready to go.
Oh,
know.
we were ready. We had sweatshirts we ordered that didn't come. It said, "Beam me up. This place sucks." They were supposed to be here.
so ready.
We're calling it. It didn't get here. So yeah.
Okay, so Kiki,
Oh,
would you
I'm gonna
rather
pick-
be probed or have your memory wiped?
I mean, probe. No.
The answer's
like-
pretty clear. I'm like,
I feel like if you've listened, you're like, she wants to be probed. She's into it. No. I feel like I'm gonna pick probe because if it happens, I want to know and remember. Right? Is that like where you're going? Probably.
Absolutely.
Because
I mean-
I don't want to remember being probed, but I want to remember that this happened and I had this experience. And you're going to memory wipe it, and then I'm just going to be walking around being like, I feel like I had this weird dream.
common themes in abduction stories, or even if you were probed, like the experiencer Whitley Strieber, your memory's going to be wiped.
I don't know
then
what you're
you
saying.
all go through. They usually end up going through hypnotic regression anyway to pull the memories out. So I would go with probed.
Yeah,
Because I would want to know.
Yeah, you're gonna remember that, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
Jessica, what's yours?
I mean, I feel I'm team probe.
You're like, it's like,
I'm like,
is it Two Girls, One Probe? It's not that kind of a podcast.
it's not that
Sponsored by West Georgia Gynecology or something like that.
Oh, God.
Well, I feel like the memory wiped is a given, like that's going to happen. Also, I have the worst memory, so like nobody really has to work that hard for that. So
No, Jessica's she would have it happen, and then I'd be like, "What'd you do last night?" She'd be like, "I mean,
I feel like
I watched
I don't
Gilmore Girls.
remember, but my butt hurts.
No one said it was a butt probe." No, I'm just kidding.
You put that. You filled that in. Nobody said that.
I mean, that says a lot.
I mean, and that explains everything about you need to know about the show. All right, question 2. If you had to either What would you rather do? Live through an alien invasion or a zombie apocalypse?
Alien invasion for sure.
Really?
One, I can't run that fast. You know,
You got to have cardio for that.
yeah. And two, I'm all but trying to make it happen anyway. An alien invasion. You know.
Well, I would say like probably I would pick aliens because zombies to me, I'm like I have like this is a total tangent, but I went to a therapist because I had like a mental breakdown. I talk about that.
Not
a lot.
recently.
No, like a while ago. Like I have a lot of anxiety.
20 minutes
and
ago.
I had like right before the podcast. And I had like kind of like a panic attack, and so it was a friend who was like a psychologist because you can't see like a friend psychologist like it's not kosher. It's like what is the word? It's not ethical.
Yeah, there we
and
go.
so he was like I had all these like stresses, and he's like, well. And he wanted me to tell him stuff, and then I told him like I have all these dreams where I'm running from zombies, and he's like, oh well, it's actually just your childhood feeling not secure in the world and knowing that the world isn't like looking out for you or whatever. And so he's like, you're manifesting it in this. And so I'm like, oh, it made me feel better about the zombie stuff, but I still would pick aliens because I'm like I don't want to have to run from zombies, and if they're like the fast zombies, I don't want that.
Plus,
like,
aren't
I
they
can't do
gross?
that.
Like zombies are gross. It implies decomposition.
Ew, it would smell
And
so bad.
Aliens are clean.
See, I'm team
UFOs.
zombie.
Are you?
Yes.
Why?
You know why? Because I know what to do. Double tap in the head.
Oh,
Gone.
that's true. You know how to, well,
Aliens, I don't know what we're getting.
You always got to double tap though.
But
You can trip the slow person, and they'll eat that slow
yeah,
person.
but I'm
You
like,
can get away.
aliens, is it going to be
She's saying
like...
this, but all you need is a Gatorade. Just give an alien a Gatorade, and they'll have a seizure, or a Monster Zero or something. Like,
See, this is why Josh is on the show.
This is why he's here. Because I'm like, do they? Is that what you do?
no, that's just a meme. I just saw a meme that's like,
Oh,
I gave
okay.
a gray alien a Gatorade and it had a seizure, and I laughed. I was like, that is so horrifying.
All right, number 3. Are you team Mulder or Scully?
Scully.
Really?
Scully.
Why?
All day long.
Wouldn't it be
'cause
funny if
Gillian
he was
Anderson.
like, who?
Who's that?
Well, first of all, Mulder and I would both be pretty opinionated on the phenomena itself.
Yeah.
And
You wanna convince her?
Scully's a brilliant investigator and is open minded. She would be good peer review. My thing is like if I had a theory or an idea,
I got it.
she would be good peer review, which is why they work out. But
See-
me and David Duchovny would just be like, where are the hats at? Well, we got to steal
See,
Kiki
I thought
and
you were
Jessica's
gonna.
hats.
I thought you were gonna pick the other. I thought you would have said Mulder because like he gets it.
And
but-
honestly, but also, I was 10, man, when X-Files came out, and
Yeah.
she,
Oh,
she
yeah.
did a doozy on me. Her and Catwoman. Me
too.
Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
just
I mean,
because like
she's-
I've never been the same.
I mean, she's hot as fuck. So
I'm like, give me the pantsuit. I'm into it.
What's up? Yeah, I would go. Yeah, I would have to go with that, though. Would you go? I mean, you guys would both go Mulder, probably?
No, well, more like I'm just like more of like a Scully rule follower. I know that she changes, I guess, like as the show goes on. I haven't really watched it that much, but like she's very like analytical, and then she's like, these are the rules, and we can't just do all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh, well-
yeah, that's my love language. Like, let's follow the rules.
well, I guess if that's what we're basing it on, then I'm totally team Mulder.
You're Mulder,
Like, I mean,
100%.
that's like me in a nutshell. I'm like, oh, that's what we're supposed to
He
do. No,
also
we're not gonna
has
do
like the
that.
energy that he could be like a cult leader, and you're always there for that.
He talks too slow. That's a cult leader vibe. Like when you know Scully. I just the more we look at it, it's starting to look like it may be the people from the ground. I'm like,
total
you're
cult
trying to
Yeah.
you're trying to take my wife from me. You're trying to take my bank accounts.
He's like, I'm going to take her, and probes are happening, but
And
we're
I'm
not gonna
like,
talk about it.
I'm like, here it is. Give it all. I'll give it all to you.
I think he was most attractive in Twin Peaks, though, because he was. You remember?
Peaks, yeah.
In Twin Peaks, he was
never seen
a trans woman, and this was like in the 90s.
he?
He was an FBI agent who was a trans woman.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah,
You're gonna
and
go home and watch that.
I gotta
I'm
be
gonna
honest.
watch it. You were into it?
Yeah, giving
You're like
Gillian Anderson a run for her money.
Originally it was her, now it's him. He's got you. Yeah.
David Lynch is so proud somewhere.
Oh,
Okay,
gosh.
next question. Would you rather be abducted once or watched forever?
Watched forever, as in by the phenomena, like
Yeah.
monitored
Yeah.
by UFOs.
Like, know that you're being watched forever.
Yeah, I asked you because I was like, is this like I'm being watched forever, or I don't know? Because like if it's like people sneak into my camera on my computer and watch me, I don't care. I do nothing interesting. They would be bored immediately. They would be like, we thought we needed to watch this woman, and now we're over it. Hardcore. We got to go find somebody else. So I'm like, watch me.
Watch
You're
me.
gonna be bored.
I may dig it. May like that you're watching. Just go ahead and tune in. It's like you said, it's gonna be boring.
It's like the pod. I want someone to pay attention.
So I'm gonna find moments when I can interject just what little I've absorbed over the years.
Yes.
Funny enough, like we talked about earlier, with typically when someone gets abducted and has some sort of experience, they're often their memory's wiped. Not to mention there being a time dilation, sometimes a loss of hours.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's time dilation?
Yeah, you got to explain it for Jessica.
Yeah, like in Einstein's theory of relativity, it's like if you
it's like how when you move closer to a black hole, there's time dilation and stuff.
You saw Interstellar?
Yes.
Interstellar.
Time is not linear. Remember, I always tell you this. It's not linear.
Could someone explain that movie to me too while we're at it?
That's like 2 other podcasts.
Kiki and I pull out a big chalkboard. We're like, here, all right. Einstein said equals MC
That's
squared.
actually my husband does that with her all the time because she'll watch stuff and she gets like existential stress, and I'm like, no. Time is a construct, okay?
It is.
It's okay. And then he like starts telling her stuff, and she's like, "You're just confusing me more, and I'm more stressed." And I'm like, "No, it's supposed to help."
See, time is the 4th dimension, and we exist in the 3rd dimension, so we're forced to experience the entropy of time at a meandering, slow rate. Now, back to your question. So,
science.
A strange thing about if you look at the 6th man to walk on the moon, Edgar Mitchell had a study that it was like 10 years long. It was called the Free Study, and it was just taking interviews and testimonies from people who supposedly were abducted.
Okay.
And interesting correlation. Funny enough, first of all, 90% of the sightings report seeing human-like entities, which
that's what they visually
describe the theory
them.
of they're us from the future instead of something extraterrestrial.
I like that theory.
I do too, and it actually checks the most boxes.
Ooh.
But 3% of abductions report human-looking, honestly, blonde-haired humans. And then that other percentage talks about non-human beings of some kind. But abductions themselves tend to happen throughout the course of someone's life, and actually from generation to generation. So historically, you may have a woman in the 60s that are having these weird experiences, losses of time, and she has nightmares, like sleep paralysis of something, and then her children will end up continuing that. I imagine it's probably like a long-term study where they're just
I have sleep paralysis. Does that
studies.
mean I've been abducted?
Maybe.
I mean, I legit,
Describe your experience when you have a sleep paralysis.
Well, no, it's always more like I think there's, I didn't used to know if it was like officially sleep paralysis, but like I wake up and I used to always see something in the room or something over me or like hovering, and I can't officially, and then I will actually sit up and still see it. And then I will come to like wake up or whatever air quote you want to say, and then it's not there anymore.
I've had that before.
I used to have it a lot in the last house I lived in, and we always joked it was on an Indian burial ground because so much crazy stuff happened in that house.
Like Pet Cemetery? Oh my god, that's so scary.
Like that house got struck by lightning; it was cursed, and so. But yeah, I still have that. Like I'll think I'm almost like positive I'm seeing something or someone. And then it's like I finally come to.
Oh my gosh, I had that the other night.
Did you?
I literally like woke up swinging because I thought somebody was like so close to me.
Yeah,
and I was
it
like,
was just Binky.
He's like, "What's up?"
I was like, "What's that black eye about, dude?"
He's like, "Babe."
She's like, "I kind of like it. Like, can I fight back?"
Okay, we have one more question, and then we're going to get into
to answer the question. Though,
Oh.
I would go with abduction because in my mind, the implication would be they will monitor you for the rest of time anyway. I'm fine with them monitoring me. I don't really want the government to monitor me.
Gotcha.
Altogether, because they seem to have better intentions, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm like, watch me. That's fine. Although if I was abducted, then like, do I get to come back?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because then I'm like, I know some stuff.
Well, that
so
is
then I would
true.
be like excited to know some information.
That's awesome.
I'm team
You know?
watch.
Okay,
you
you're
can
team
watch
watch.
me.
Okay.
I mean, I want people to pay attention to me. Do it.
I mean, they do it in England. What is that Big Brother show? It's like a 24-hour reality
Where they,
show.
Yeah, they just watch you, the cameras all the time.
Yeah.
That's
They
what the
survive.
world is terrible.
See, I'm like the person who like walks up to the house and like we've got those blink cameras outside, and I'm like,
She does dances and
I'm
she
like,
does stuff. She's like,
I'm like smiling for the camera.
yeah.
I'm also like stalking husband because I'll be
she's
like,
such
I'll be
a
like,
stalker.
I'll be like, where are you going?
Wait till you meet the CIA analyst that's been watching your footage. They have a framed picture of you going.
he like loves Jess. He's like, I'm so into it.
She's like really funny. And she has something to say.
He's like, does she? I heard she just started a podcast.
He's like, every time this girl walks up to the house, she's like stressed.
He's there for it.
I love it. He's my favorite fan.
Okay, last question for all of us because we have one just for us. Was Roswell a UFO crash or just a weather balloon? I didn't even know what this meant. This question.
It being a weather balloon
I didn't know we thought it
actually
was a weather
harkens
balloon.
back. It's not a weather balloon.
Okay.
The way I usually, when people ask about Roswell, I say, do you think that the 409th Air Force Wing, which was the only wing trusted to handle nuclear weapons,
Yeah.
that's where the Enola Gay took off from. would misidentify 12 football fields worth of wreckage from Roswell to Corona, New Mexico, where the impact actually was. It was in Corona, which was just about 75 miles north of New Mexico. Do we really think that the only Air Force squadron trusted to handle nuclear weapons would misidentify 12 football fields worth of wreckage thousands of testimonies later for a weather balloon? The Air Force said back then that it was a classified weather balloon that got loose and crashed. And then in 1997, when Clinton brought it back up, because Hillary and Bill were incredibly interested in the topic. I mean, Hillary Clinton was even famously photographed holding a copy of Professor John Mack, the Harvard psychiatrist book's Abduction, in like a famous photo, like with the president, because she was really, really wanting to get to the bottom of it, as was President Clinton. In 97, when it came back up, the Air Force, I mean, it's so embarrassing. The Air Force put out another report called the Roswell Report, case closed. And it literally, this big book, all it said was, it was a weather balloon. I'll lay it to you like this. 4th of July weekend, 1947.
Okay. Yeah.
You have hundreds of people sitting on their porch and in bed, and they hear a massive explosion.
Okay.
Now, what happened, from what I understand, it was probably two craft actually crashed into each other. Or the radar array, which was near the Roswell airfield, had a very, very strong radar, and that may potentially interrupt with their propulsion. So this thing crashed on Mac Brazel's farm, left, as I mentioned, 12 football fields worth of wreckage. Major Jessie Marcel from the Roswell airfield was instructed to go see what was up. And he, used Mac Brazel's broken, it's not even written down. It's like, we'll go 2 miles, take a right at the mailbox, take a left. They go find this massive field of debris.
Which, 12 football fields, that's insane.
That's a lot of debris.
That's insane.
When you put it like that way.
Well, when you put it that way, you're like, that's a lot.
Dozens of Air Force personnel who were there that night that were like, we were picking up these big sheets of metal that were thinner than a spearmint gum wrapper, and you would bend it and it would go back into shape. So Major Marcel, they start collecting all of this material, and they found occupants.
Like
I
aliens.
personally believe that the occupants were dead, and they would be the typical about 4 foot tall gray aliens, which I'm pretty confident aren't a living organism. It's a synthetic organism, which seems to be kind of like a drone, like to go do things for us, and because the chances of something evolving as a bipedal is very, very rare. I mean, if something was from another star system, it would probably have a different shape, more like a crustacean or something. But grays might be something that are here to interact with us and looks kind of familiar, 2 legs, 2 arms.
In essence, it's kind of...
Yeah. Well, Jessie Marcel recovered the wreckage and went back to Roswell, and the newspapers were like, what happened? And remember, this was just after the Kenneth Arnold sighting of Matt Rainier, where famous Air Force pilot Kenneth Arnold saw 9 flying saucers skipping over.
I heard about this the other day. I hadn't heard of it.
That's where the term came from. He said it looked like 2 saucers, stacked on top of each other. So people... There was this frenzy about, what are flying saucers? This guy saw them. Now this guy over here is saying he saw them.
So it's like a lot happening at once.
A lot. And keep in mind, this was just 2 years after we deployed the first nuclear weapon. And that was a juncture point where visitations and appearances by these non-human craft, or whatever they are, spiked after the Manhattan Project. Memos from Oppenheimer to the president, during the program for... the nuclear bomb. I mean, they talked about things showing up, Einstein, and then we're talking about giant lights floating above Los Alamos and stuff. It's very trippy.
Wow.
But Marcel came back, and everybody was talking about flying saucers.
That was not in the Oppenheimer movie.
No, but you know what was?
I feel like I missed out.
Now, the Atomic Energy Commission was, though. And if you've been following congressional testimony on this topic, it's allegedly within the 1954 Atomic Energy Act, wherein the UFO dossier, the portfolio, was housed. So it's within DOE, which means you can't Freedom of Information Act it. So that's what Air Force officer David Grush said in Congress under oath after presenting his case about non-human crash retrievals to the Inspector General, who deemed his claims credible and urgent. But with Roswell, Marcel went back, and in this climate of, flying saucers are everywhere, he just told the newspaper, we collected a massive flying saucer. This flying disc crash, we've been collecting the wreckage. This is like unlike anything I've ever seen. So A few hours later, General Ramey shows up and says, "You're going to pose next to this this disassembled weather balloon, and you're going to tell the newspapers that that's what it was."
Oh my God!
And the material was secretly flown in 2 separate planes, so if one crashed, they still have the other half to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio.
I was totally team weather balloon coming into this, and now I'm like,
I didn't even know what I was like. I don't understand.
Now I'm just like, oh no, this is real. Now I'm bought in.
And
I'm
what's
like
amazing,
leaning in hard.
What did like Marcello, had a very accomplished military career, what did he get out of in 1978 coming out and being like, here's the deal, that was not a weather balloon. I don't know what they're telling you, but I've thought about it and it bothers me. And then he came out, and then doctors in town came out, and more Air Force personnel. Everybody either had a joint collective delusion, which is still interesting and worth
that's always an interesting thing,
or they in fact did retrieve a piece of non-human technology not made by human hands.
Wow.
Which is captivating to me. But yeah, the material was allegedly taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and then stored at the federally funded Research and Development Center, Battelle Memorial Institute in Ohio, which I drove to because I just wanted to look at it. And
you're like, I just want to know. Like,
I know the Roswell debris is in there. I know it.
So have you always been like a hardcore believer, or was there something
our last question, which is just for you?
I do want to get to that because that is interesting.
Our last question is, are you going to believe Josh immediately or argue with him the whole time? And I think Jessica's like, I'm in, and I'm like, I'm here to argue. Let's do it.
Yeah, peer review. We got Scully, we got Mulder. I'll be the guy with the cigarette. The smoking guy.
Gosh.
It worked. It worked.
Smoking man.
Yeah,
that worked out too
well.
well.
I said, I'm leaning in hard.
I'm
just like,
she's there.
I'm like, I
you
believe.
could be like, I know they're real because, of course, there's aliens, and she'd be like, you're so smart. It wouldn't matter.
You know, it's funny too because, like, I think Obama's recent statement summarizes it nicely. So, Obama does an interview on a podcast, which he never does. Keep in mind,
I know
President Obama and Michelle Obama's production company is currently making a film about Betty and Barney Hill, the first famous abduction case in New Hampshire in 1961, an interracial couple. Barney Hill and Betty Hill. They're making a documentary about that.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that
So
either.
keep in mind, you have Obama, and you know how it is when the president goes on a podcast, they give you the questions in advance.
He blew up the internet.
So they said, are aliens real? He goes, well, they're real. I don't know where they are. You know, they're not at pretended like he didn't remember Area 51, although under his administration, he leaked it out that Area 51 was real.
He's like, what was that called?
He goes, oh, yeah, they're real, but, you know, I've never seen them. And, you know, I don't know if they're at Area 51 or deep underground military bases, which dumbs are very real. A lot of money has been funneled into making them, and they're normal. It's like where they do, you know, military testing. So he says that very point blank, you know, and he's, throughout history, by far been the most forthcoming and just
That's
direct.
like his mic drop. Like, he was like, and everyone's going to lose their shit.
And then the miserable podcast host didn't go, what? What was that?
I know. Gary's like, who doesn't ask a follow-up question to that? You're a terrible podcast host. I was like, he's right.
I think that he was playing 4D chess because notice the next, like a few hours later, they were like, President Trump, President Obama just said the aliens were real. So instead of just being like, I don't know what that's about, he goes, he'll leak classified information. If he's talking about aliens, he's leaking classified information.
That's pretty good.
He shouldn't have done that. Maybe I'll make it legal and maybe I'll help him out.
Can you do a clip that says we have the best No, we don't. That's not our listener base.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no greater podcast than Two Girls, One Haircut. I have the same haircut too. They don't like me to say that, but apparently I'm a big fan. Based my entire haircut.
Oh my God, we're going to lose followers because we are not conservative.
Listen, we're not making it political. We're just talking about UFOs. So he said this, and then immediately Trump turned around and said, yeah, let's talk about it. Well, Obama is very, very well read in on the reality of the UFO phenomenon because Hillary and Obama's, I think he was chief of staff, John Podesta, he, you know, in the WikiLeaks leak.
Yeah.
John Podesta and Hillary's team had been exchanging emails with Air Force personnel from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base discussing a UFO disclosure in 2016 if she had been elected president. Wow. And it didn't happen. So now instead we've found ourselves in the modern disclosure discourse where it's it's a bipartisan effort. Republican lawmakers, you have Rubio and Schumer. You have Cortez, AOC, and you have other Republican congressmen, they're all behind it. They're all like, we should have disclosure.
Yeah.
And to summarize it, they formed the UAP task force in 2017. And then that UAP task force turned into a standing group. And then they have pushed, they tried to pass the disclosure, the UAP Disclosure Amendment Act for the last 3 years.
What's UAP?
So for the longest, UFOs were just that. They were referred to as unidentified flying objects.
Yeah, flying objects.
Well,
Okay.
in the military sense, because they never didn't take this very seriously. I mean, they hid the UAP, portfolio within these stovepiped, closed off systems, broken up in CIA and DOE and DIA and Air Force. It's all kind of spread out, and it's purposefully hidden. So they changed the terminology. Whereas in declassified documents from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, they call them UFOs. Well, at some point, they started calling them UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah, because that's what you hear people talk about now. Like, they see radar blips, and they talk about, because they are going to be paying attention to something in the sky. But UFO, I think, has the connotation naturally to be like alien.
It's stigmatized.
And they're like, no, we're just saying there's something. We don't want to get you too excited. So there's just something there. Everybody calm down.
And honestly, I do appreciate in the legislation, they changed it. They changed UAP to unidentified anomalous phenomena now, because they are equally in the ocean. The Navy deals with them just as much as the Air Force does. And a lot of folks don't know that.
I did not know that.
In fact, from what I understand, more crash retrievals have been performed by, like, the more compartmentalized Navy groups that with the Mara Explorer, I think it was. It's a very big classified submarine that's just used to recover crashed.
You know what, though, if you think about it from like a perspective of like how much of our world is
like
covered
geography,
by water.
Covered by water, yeah.
Like that makes sense. It makes sense.
It totally makes sense.
If I were going to hide on this planet and escape any possible natural calamities, like the torrid meteor stream or, global warming or
You'd
any
hide
incidents,
underwater.
I would go underwater.
Yeah.
Because notice, the only animals who have not evolved are ones that are underwater. Crocodiles and jellyfish and whatnot. I mean, they're kind of frozen in time down there.
Yeah.
So a vast majority of UFO sightings are seen around either a body of water or around nuclear material. So every single, and I dare anyone to prove me wrong, every single Tier 1 nuclear missile base across the top of the United States has had incursions by vessels, large.
This is like a random question, but do you think it's because so if you're saying they didn't really start seeing stuff until after we started doing all this nuclear testing and stuff, did we either raise flags that they were like, hey, we need to go check these people out, or did we change something within the time space continuum that we, I don't know, blew something open?
That's an incredible question.
Yes.
Let me tell you what I think.
She's like,
points.
So,
all right, and I'm out.
Whereas
done for the day.
whereas the UFO phenomena has been present seemingly since antiquity, because even Aboriginal hand art in caves feature the Wangina, which are the moon-eyed. I mean, they look like grays, and all the stories from the Bible and from all these old cultures, the Vamana in India, talking about these flying machines. It may have been around since antiquity and may have helped direct the evolution of our culture and our species. But I do believe that when we split the atom, when an atom bomb goes off, there are these particles that are called neutrinos. Yeah. They're very hard to detect. The military knows where they are at any given point. If someone detonates a tiny little nuclear weapon in their garage in Detroit, they'll see it.
Really?
Because of the satellite arrays. They're tuned into them. That's how we know when our adversaries are doing nuclear tests.
Gotcha.
So I believe that very likely, should these things... one thing I don't think is that they're from another planet. If these things aren't us from the future or us in another timeline, unless you subscribe to the block universe theory, or both. I think it's a cluster of things. I think it's a few different things happening at once.
What?
So there's a few different ways to view.
The timeline, it's either it's on a record and you can skip back. So they talk about this on Lost. Did you ever watch Lost? Okay,
no,
so
because it was a plane crash is how the show
she's
started.
Such an issue with plane crashes.
For real?
Yeah.
She's so scared of dying in a plane crash.
And that's a scary plane crash.
It is.
tough one.
And I was like, I could never get past the first.
So you're gonna have to
30 seconds.
correct me, probably. But like, I had to have my husband explain this to me because I'm like, I don't understand. And it's like, so it's either like you're on a record, right? And you can jump around from song to song. Correct? So like they're jumping through time.
Well, it depends on how you view it. Physics see
like
either
circular...
the many worlds hypothesis, meaning if I go in and shake your hand or give you a hug, depending on which one I pick,
off.
you have two different tangents. The block universe theory suggests that, and I don't necessarily say I subscribe to it, but Dr. Michael Masters, who formed the intertempestrial model, which I think is the most very concise theory as to what UFOs may represent, not necessarily only what they represent, but should they be us from the future? He maintains that within the block universe theory, it's more akin to Back to the Future. So even though that's a very flawed movie in terms of explaining time travel, the block universe theory suggests that if I were going to go back in time and come punch myself in the face during this interview, that I would have always done that.
You would have always. Because
before I ever thought to do it, I'm sitting here talking, I would have walked in and punched me.
It's like the idea of like predetermined fate.
Yes, and when you start dealing with neutrinos, time is going to be probably one of the core components of this mystery when it's finally unveiled, because if you can control gravity, you can control time. You can manipulate time.
Okay.
And theoretically, within physics, you can certainly go forward in time. It's still a little iffy on you can go back.
That's why you were saying like the time changes as you get closer to like a black hole, right?
Yes.
Yes, it literally does.
Gravity.
It's like time dilation.
Gotcha.
We are so lied to. We really think every day we wake up and we see the time and we go do... Technically, all moments in time are happening at the exact same time. But us... Now, and if you were a being that had perhaps always existed or evolved within a fourth or fifth dimension of space-time, time to you wouldn't be us waiting. It would be, I'm thinking about meeting this girl at the same time I'm divorcing her. You know what I mean? Like, it's experience life all at once. Kind of a...
It's also kind of like how you really like Arrival. And...
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So
that's the best
if anyone
example.
who's seen Arrival, the movie, like she goes and she communicates with these alien forms of whatever you want to call them.
Giant
and then
squids.
The giant squid shows her everything he knows, which is like the past, present, and future. And so the whole idea is that she already knew that when she had a daughter, her daughter was going to die young of having childhood cancer. But she still chooses to have the kid anyways. And so, like, she's seen her future, her past, everything all at once. And she experiences it all at once. She's experiencing everything. She's just, it's like, you already know everything and you're like, oh, but I'm here currently. It's like you already know, you've already read the book. And then suddenly you open this page and you're like, I already know what happens, but I'm reading this chapter right now.
At one point, a character is like, how did I know to call you? Like, I didn't have your number. And the guy's like, well, I'm going to give it to you right now.
Right now, yeah.
Because that's the gift that the non-humans are trying to give us. I think something like Arrival, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because that was advised by some of the same Air Force personnel that worked on Project Blue Book, which was
Close Encounters of the Mashed Potato.
Yes.
Yeah, I referenced that to Jessica, and she had no idea what I was saying. I was like, is he like making mashed potato mounds? And she's like, I don't know what you're saying. And I was like, oh, Jessica.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
You haven't, but it's
really good.
So good.
It's
just a good movie,
movie,
too. It's Spielberg. It's just good.
Spielberg's newest film called Disclosure Day, which is coming out later this year.
Oh my God, I cannot wait.
Oh yeah, and it like Close Encounters, his film before, was ahead of the curve, because in Close Encounters, it came out in 1977 or 78. They talked about radiation burns, which is what Air Force pilots are talking about. They're talking about telepathic communications, which are just totally part of this phenomena. I mean, even down to the military contractors that were on site at the end, ones that in real life are probably connected to the retrieval of non-human technology.
Oh my gosh!
But I definitely think that if people hadn't had a chance to see Arrival, I think it kind of rewires your mind as to what something like this might actually be doing. I think that it's influencing our culture. There was the airship mystery of the 1800s, the UFO phenomena, or at least something appeared like giant airships before blimps existed.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden you get into the 30s and 40s and you're seeing flying saucers. And then in the 90s and 2000s you start seeing tic tacs and large black triangles. The phenomena itself may not have a form. It may genuinely appear to you as whatever you're going to see it as. You find two Navy personnel who saw the same thing. They may describe two very different looking spacecraft. Or whatever. The transmedium vehicles, as they call them in Congress, because they can go ocean, air, and space. No problem. But I think if someone wanted to do research into a case, the 2004 Nimitz UFO incident is what the New York Times article in 2017 was focused on.
So this episode is so good and it's so juicy that we had to split it into two.
There was a debate about it.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to just like throw it all in your face. And Jessie said, no, you got to make them like come back for a little more.
Well, and I'm like, when you find something you really like, you savor it, right?
No, I don't. But sure, that's fine. I binge, but whatever, it's cool.
So what we've decided to do is break up this episode with our friend Josh into two. So next week, you'll be joining us for part 2 of Two Girls, One Haircut, and lots of aliens.
Oh my God, so many aliens.
So excited. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, this is Jessie. Real quick, before you go, if you aren't doing this already, please don't forget to follow us, rate us, and leave us a review. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. But 5 stars only, because really, who needs that kind of negativity in their life? And if you've made it this far, you're basically family. So let's act like it and share the episode. Okay, bye.